Hello and welcome to the couch. Today I'm joined with my co-host Carson. Um, and Carson, I gotta admit, I feel like you're having a pretty good week. You want to just detail some of the football highlights from this week, just all around from your fan bases?
Yeah, I got to watch Bryce Young play football. It's always a good week when I get to see that happen,
Always.
unless he plays the Saints. But no, yeah, no,
But there's,
breaking Cam Newton's record,
yeah,
single game passing yards. Oh my God,
I saw that. And I didn't really watch the game until the end, but like he was balling. He was balling, and this has got to be a disaster season for the Falcons. Like just absolutely. Like you have playoff hopes, pretty much, right?
yeah, you're expecting to compete with the Bucks in the division. You make trade your first round pick in April in the draft to go and beef up the defense,
And then
and now you're without a top 10 pick.
and James Pierce really hasn't been playing like a first round pick really either. Like he's been playing
He had
okay, but like it's not like the defense is super great. It's better, but
the defense has played a lot better,
yeah.
which was their problem last year. Was good offense and bad defense, but they've just completely flipped now, and it's good defense and just really bad inconsistent offense.
Yeah, I feel like they're one
And
of the most hot and cold teams in the league,
yeah,
especially when they play the
definitely.
Panthers, huh?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They,
But I was I
they
was
feel
actually
right hand job.
I was actually alluding to some bigger news. James Franklin being the head coach
Oh
at
yeah,
Virginia
yeah.
Tech. Hype for
Oh my
us Virginia
God.
Tech fans. What do you think? What do you think? I just got one question about it. What do you think that James Franklin's going to bring to this Tech team?
I think he's going to be able to, first of all, build a culture that hasn't been at Tech in a long time, a winning culture,
Mhm.
because he's had sustained success everywhere he's been. He's had success in the SEC at Vanderbilt of all places. No one wins at Vanderbilt until Clark Lee now, but and then he goes to the Big Ten for over a decade, has success there, wins a Big Ten championship his first year, and is now going back to the ACC to be a head coach. And I think one of the most exciting things about him coming to Virginia Tech is how good of a recruiter he is, especially in the DMV area. He has been dominating that area, recruiting from Pennsylvania, and now he gets to recruit and pitch in Virginia to keep guys home. And so I think that's just going to be invaluable to the future success of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hyped. I'm not the biggest Virginia Tech football fan. Like that's the college football team I root for, but like I don't watch a ton of college football. But I'm hyped. I'm absolutely hyped, especially because I've been getting into Virginia Tech more the last few years. Like Bashaw Tune was one of my favorite players in this last class. I actually just pulled a red like rookie card for him, like out of some football cards I was opening. But anyways, I feel like you could just narrow it down to one word and say James Franklin's going to bring recruits. Like that's literally it. All you could say is like there are going to be good players at Virginia Tech, and not that there haven't been good players, but they're going to stay. I mean, their offensive line like a year ago was like one of the best in the country, and then they lost half of it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been able to recruit the state of Virginia well, and nobody does that better than James Franklin. And even at a national level, he recruits really well, and he's already started this weekend, Saturday, against Miami. Even though he's not, coaching the game, he's going to be there with over 40 recruits
Oh
at the
wow.
game on an official visit. The guys that he's already offered, guys that have decommitted from Penn State, or
Hmm.
guys that are already committed or thinking about going to Virginia Tech, and they're all going to be there for the game against Miami. So
Huh.
hopefully the fans show out.
Yeah. Wow. Um. Well, and I mean, you could look at Tyler Warren, right?
Yeah, there's
Literally
a bunch of
robbed him from
guys that
Virginia Tech.
Penn State has taken
Like,
from Virginia Tech, like Tyler Warren committed to Virginia Tech as a quarterback, uh, and then Penn State takes him, or Penn State's starting running back right now, Katron Allen, like a 5-star running back. He's from the heart of Virginia, and they just took him right out. So those kind of recruits, if they're able to stay in Virginia and go to Tech, that's going to be huge for a VT.
yeah, but no one really cares. let's move on. We got to get into the heart of this episode. I know we care, but we got to get in the heart of
Yeah,
this episode.
all of our fans tune in for NFL, Sean. They do not care about college.
Well, no, they just don't care about Virginia Tech. But this time next year, boy, they're going to be caring about number 1 seed Virginia Tech, right?
They won't hear enough about them Hokies.
Yeah, the only question that we're going to be getting is what is a Hokie? And we're just going to have to look down upon them, right?
That's what Lee Corso said.
um, but let's get to the heart of this episode, and we're doing our quarterback rankings. We're going off right now, not obviously like accolades, like we're not going to say, oh, Patrick Mahomes is at the number 1. Maybe we will, but we're going off right now what's going on in the NFL, kind of our power rankings essentially, right? And we're gonna go through that. We got a tier list right here. We're gonna just go through and kind of talk it out together, um, and hopefully come up with a pretty good list. So I just want to go ahead and introduce the tiers. We've got at the top, we got the top 1, the best quarterback in the league right now, and I feel like there's a few guys, especially after Josh Allen's performance this Sunday, that you could really put into that spot. And then the second tier, we got elite, then we got game changers, then we got top 15. So those are all going to be like the better half of the quarterbacks in the league. Then we got mid, and then we got needs time, dead cap, and a special category reserved for 9. JJ McCarthy's alter ego. So I don't. Do you just want to go through this by the list that they have on here, or do you just want to pick them out? And we can move them around, obviously, because the first one.
Yeah, we can go by your list. Mine might be mixed up a little bit,
Okay.
so I can go.
Well, we'll start with Jordan Love because he's the first guy on here, and someone who has struggled of late, and not just him, but the whole team of the Packers has struggled. But I do like what I've seen from him last year, especially during the Toyota-thon months. Like Jordan Love is a top half quarterback, of course, but I don't think that you can put him in elite. I don't think you can really put him in game changers. I think
Really?
there's an argument for it, right? But obviously being the number 1 on the list, I feel like we should put him in top 15. I think he's a great quarterback. He's struggling of recent, and there's some guys that have really been balling out. We could move him up later if we look at it and say like, okay, well, this guy isn't better than him, so we'll move it up. But that's why I propose he goes first, just so we can start off and start getting kind of a framework to go with.
Yeah, I think it's tough. You'd have to decide. It's either between game changers or top 15. I don't think
Yeah.
you can fully say he's elite yet. But yeah, I think it matters how many people we put into the game changers kind of category, and he might get moved up from there because
Yeah.
he'd probably be one of the first candidates to get moved up.
So we'll put him in top 15, and we'll stay there, and we'll just see what's going on with that. Oh, here, let me put do not disturb on my iPad so I don't get notification. All right. Then next we got Jared Goff, someone who has honestly having a career season, right? I mean, putting up career best in almost every statistic, except he just played an Eagles defense that got much better, and he struggled a lot. 37% completion, one of the worst completion percentages in a regular season game in the last few years. So where do we put him? Because I'm tempted to put him in game changers, and I know that he doesn't do a lot with his legs, but I think that he's balling out right now, and this Lions team is great. I think they've just fallen short in a few couple ways, had a few rough games, but I don't think that I could put him over Jordan Love. Could I put him in a tier above Jordan Love? What do you think?
That's what I'm stuck thinking. It just feels like a sin to put Jared Goff above Jordan Love, but at the same time, Love has just been so inconsistent recently. Like they started out so hot, and I mean, he would have been borderline in the elite category, but they've just cooled off like real bad recently. And so I don't know, man. The way the Lions have been playing, you do want to put Goff in that like kind of would be like firmly top 10 range, and that would be probably in the game changers tier.
Yeah, and I think that, well, I mean, he could, yeah, and I think that the argument for game changers is that he makes good decisions in a lot of the games that he plays, right? Like
Yeah.
he doesn't, especially this year, he hasn't really turned the ball over a whole ton. Um, and I think that that's kind of why I would put him in the game changers tier. But honestly, I could see him moving down because I feel like a lot of the guys that we're gonna put in that tier, it's gonna look like he's out of place. But we'll go ahead and put him there now. And then we got our lovely king 9. Yeah, he's going to that category.
I know where he's going.
I remember watching Stay Hot before the podcast, before the season, and they were talking about their NFC North predictions. And I remember Theo Ash saying, like, if you don't think the Vikings are going to finish in the top 3, you must think that JJ McCarthy's going to be really bad. And I remember thinking, yeah, like this division is so stacked, and there's so many good defenses that he has to go against. Like, I don't think that he's going to be highly successful in his first year, his
Yeah.
first actual year. And there were questions about him in the first place. Like, he had some people didn't even think he should go in the first round. So like
I didn't think he'd go in the first round.
yeah, so like there were a lot of questions, and then like coming off the injury, and like his mechanics aren't the best, and like just that Bears game. I mean, that was rough. That was just bad. And you're playing with probably some of the best weapons that you can. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand how you perform that little with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson, and a pretty good running back duo. It's just like, and you have a great coach. That's a different level of needs time. It's almost like the Anthony Richardson. Like I would put them in the same category because, like
Yeah.
I said, JJ McCarthy's had some good games. Like that comeback in Chicago, I think it was week 2 or it was week 1.
It was the opening Monday night. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was week 1, and he had a great fourth quarter to come back, but the rest of the game he played like trash. and
Yeah.
And like it kind of like Anthony Richardson, he has some really amazing plays. I mean, he's falling backwards throwing 70-yard bombs, and then he has some of the most inaccurate passes you've ever seen. And I don't know, it's a different level of not NFL ready.
It is. He just doesn't look very polished at all.
And then I guess we'll top off. I guess this is in order of division, so we'll top it off with Caleb Williams. This
Yep.
is hard for me because there's been a lot of inconsistency from Caleb Williams, but a lot of fourth quarter magic.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking about putting him in game changers because he is so dynamic with his legs. He is he might be the most elusive quarterback in the NFL right now.
He is. I'll give him that. I
And
remember telling Jake during the game when it was like 2 or 3 plays. It just felt like every other play that we looked over, it was just him like spinning out of a sack and jumping over another like shoelace tackle, and it was just, I mean, him making like a crazy throw. And so I think he's definitely probably he's up there with like that Mahomes factor of like, why can we not bring this guy down? And like Josh Allen, like he's already up there
he's an
with the best.
incredible
It's
playmaker. And like the thing, and honestly, he has some great throws, but his receivers have struggled a lot recently with catching the football. DJ Moore had a few
yeah.
drops. Luther Burden played all right, had a few drops. And then like a week ago, Zacchaeus drops one of the most beautiful passes I've ever seen in the corner of the end, in like the side of the end zone. Caleb Williams is like on the run, like slung up past to Zacchaeus where it was like a toe tap, and he just couldn't hold on. And so like I feel like his receivers have been letting him down. Like the Bears wide receiver core on paper looks like one of the best in the league, right? DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and then you got like a good rookie and Burden, and then like a pretty solid guy in Zacchaeus. But they just really haven't played up to par, I don't think.
No. I still just don't. You can't put Caleb Williams in game changers, right? You can't put him over Jordan Love. You cannot.
I
No,
what
no, no,
let's
no.
look.
You cannot do that.
I understand, but this is power rankings. It's not like
I'm aware. You still cannot put him over Jordan Love.
I don't know. Let's put him in top 15. Is that good?
Love it.
Huh?
Behind Jordan Love.
Okay,
Behind Jordan
behind Jordan Love. Okay, because we talked, we might move Jordan Love up, and I think that
But-
the inability to sack Caleb Williams is the biggest strength of his game right now, and that is what keeps the Bears in these games. They have infinite chances. You're not going to sack him. He's going to get a look downfield almost every single time that he has the ball.
But at the same time, I mean, it comes with some stupid plays too, where he takes a really bad sack that he shouldn't. That still happens fairly often.
And I definitely agree. But I mean, every
I'm not
quarter.
saying he's bad, but there's just like
No.
there's a lot of work to still be done. I do think that he can definitely be in that, game changers elite category very soon, but I just don't think that this season
Okay,
he's been.
that's fair. That's fair. And I do agree that sometimes he takes some bad sacks, but like Josh Allen and Lamar take some bad sacks every now and then, try and get out, and it's not a perfect science. And so,
But their median play is
oh,
levels
oh,
above Caleb Williams.
yeah, of course, of course. Like there's no doubting about that. But what I'm just his that's what I'm saying. Like his legs alone put him in the top 15 for me because he's just so dynamic. And so we'll keep him in top 15 behind Jordan Love for right now, and we can move some things around later. But now we move on to the NFC East, and I kind of want to save Jalen Hurts for later. Um,
Okay. Want to do them
I
last
I
of
just
NFC East or last, like later of the end?
we can do let's do the NFC last because I feel like right now this is a very hot topic. Um, well, one for Jaden Daniels. I mean, I don't know where you'd put him. I don't even know if we rank him necessarily because he's been hurt so much, and now he's out for a while. And then we have like Russ. I don't think Dart's on here. Yeah, Dart isn't on here. Why is Dart not on here?
You just act like Russ is Dart.
Okay, we'll just act like Russ is Dart. Bro, that screenshot's gonna go crazy. Someone's gonna say Russ needs some more time, and it's gonna be bad. Um, and then yeah,
Just 2 more years for Russell Wilson.
guys, just wait. And then Kyler Murray will swap out for Jacoby Brissett because I actually want to talk about Jacoby Brissett
Most completions
in a
in an
game.
NFL game
What a
ever.
record to break, honestly. Like that is super impressive, and I don't even think like that whole game isn't his fault. Like I really don't think that game was his fault.
No, I mean that was just great. I was just watching a video like a few hours ago, and then like someone mentioned that, and I was like, "What?" I didn't even know that he broke that record. That was crazy.
um. All right, let's do the NFC South. Let's do the NFC South. We'll start with Baker. Where are we putting Baker? Baker came off hot. Last few weeks he's cooled down a little bit. I still think that he's pretty dynamic on both running and passing. Like he's not
Yeah.
he's not the best runner, but he still has the ability to escape the pocket and make some pretty nice throws.
He can be a little frisky on the run too.
Yeah, he's not like a statue by any means, but he's not just I wouldn't classify as a runner. So where do
Yeah.
we put him? I would lean towards game changers, right? I don't think that he's necessarily elite. I think that he has some elite traits like his arm strength,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I can put him at elite. But I like because I think that there's gonna be guys like I think there's gonna be different guys ahead of him.
Yeah, it's tough because considering it is just this season, if this was like week 5 or 6, then
Yeah.
I think just based off of the categories, you'd almost have to put him in a league because he was up there in the MVP conversation. But yeah, like you said, he cooled down, and it's been a little rough going for their offense a little bit. They've had some tough matchups, but yeah, I think you can firmly put him in the game changers for this
And
season.
ahead of Jared Goff, right? I mean,
I would put him above Jared Goff. Yeah,
um, and then Bryce Young coming off the best game of his career, best game by a Panthers quarterback, maybe, right?
maybe,
Maybe,
maybe.
maybe. I mean,
There's a few
the
up there. There's a few up there.
what would you call it? The stakes were not as high as some other Panther quarterback games, but
Yeah, no.
but breaking the franchise single game passing record, that's pretty big. Where are we putting Bryce? Because I feel like maybe he's on the edge of top 15. I don't know where because we've seen so much inconsistency. Last year at the end of the year he was playing pretty great, gave a lot of teams some like trouble, gave the Eagles some trouble. Um
Yeah.
but I feel like the guys that are going to be in the top 15 might just be better than him.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the
I think
physical limitations as well. Like just he's so small and I feel I hate to say that, but it is a factor, right? Like it's just undeniably a factor.
I mean, how so though, other than like preference? Because it's not like it's anything injury related or
Yeah, I don't think it's
anything.
more anything injury related. I just think I have questions that is he so small that like sometimes he can't see receivers. That's legitimately a question.
Well, like most quarterbacks aren't like actually just seeing the field perfectly.
No, no, I don't think so. But it's going to
Like
affect
Trevor Lawrence is not seeing the field like that. But yeah, like
it's
I
going to
mean,
affect that. That's what I'm
obviously
saying.
it's different in terms of I think it's a fair question about, maybe batted passes and that kind of stuff,
Okay, yeah.
definitely. But that really hasn't been an issue for him thus far in his career. It's really just been, like you said, the inconsistency with it, because his highs are number one pick highs. They're throwing for 448 against Atlanta, or like last year 5 touchdowns against Atlanta, or having both teams in the Super Bowl from last year on the ropes. But his lows, and they tend to be more common than any highs, are quite low. It's, he hasn't thrown for 200 yards and since September. That those kind of lows. Like his where he regresses to is kind of below average.
Mhm.
And so realistically, I think you still would probably have to put him in like the needs time, because you really just don't know, because he can't be
Oh,
a
okay.
franchise quarterback if he's going to be struggling to hit 200 passing yards on a weekly basis. And, when the run game isn't carrying you, then the offense is just stuck in the mud like it was a couple weeks ago against New Orleans. So
Okay.
I'm not even sure you can put them in the mid
Okay.
category
So
right
you're going even lower than I thought because I
now.
I really like the upside of Bryce Young. I mean, he's a pretty
It is.
good creator. He's a kind of underrated creator in the pocket, I feel like. He's able to do some pretty nice things in and outside of the pocket. And I think and like you said, he has had some really high highs. But I mean, I'm fine putting him in the needs time because I agree like, he's been benched and unbenched and like I feel like he hasn't gotten the full experience yet. I don't think that you could say, oh, Panthers need to move on from Bryce Young because they. I don't think that his time isn't over. Whether you like it or not, as a Panthers fan, I don't think the time for Bryce Young is over.
Yeah, no. There's just too many questions that still have to be answered with them. And it's just, again, the inconsistency where sometimes, like last week, it just looks like he's not flinching, and he's, not hesitating, letting passes fly over the middle and going for big chunk plays. And then, the next week he's just looks terrified. He, is playing really toesy, and, not he's scared to pull the trigger. And so he just needs to kind of settle in eventually, because it's just, you don't know which Bryce Young you're going to get week in and week out.
Yeah. And then we got Michael Penix and Spencer Rattler slash Tyler Shuck. I really like what I saw from Shuck, from especially in the Panthers game. Um, you know,
Hasn't
uh,
looked
but like
yes.
even besides that, like he hasn't looked too bad. Um,
He hasn't.
and I think even Spencer Rattler, I'd probably put him in the same tier. I don't think that Spencer Rattler did anything too egregious to get him benched. I think it was just kind of time to see Tyler Shuck. Um, like he didn't look that bad. He kind of held with some good teams like the 49ers. The Saints had them on the ropes for pretty much that entire game early in the season, and that was when they were pretty dang healthy. Uh, and so I would
Yeah.
put them both in needs time as well. And I feel like Penix is right there too. I feel like
It's, yeah.
it,
I mean,
like Penix year two didn't really even get a full chance last year. I still think he struggles, um, you know, with his
he,
accuracy a lot, and
yeah.
you know his weapons are pretty dang good. Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. I know there's still questions. Like Kyle Pitts, that isn't like you know a top tight end, but still really athletic and really good. You should be able to get the ball to him, and then you have Bijan as well. Like I think that he's in a great place to develop. Hopefully, this injury isn't as like serious. Um, but obviously he's gonna be out for the season. And I think that next year, look, you have the framework of a pretty good defense, and next year you can go out probably get you know not in the first round, but maybe you can draft nice and get some good offensive line guys, get some maybe another receiver to pair with Drake London, and I don't think it's too not having the first round pick is huge for Atlanta. Um, but I don't think it's the end of the world, to be honest. Like having a top 10 pick would be game changing, but I don't think that it's going to ruin the rebuild with Michael Penix unless they just have an insanely bad draft.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's detrimental to him. I think what would be more important is getting a new coaching staff.
Really.
Lord knows the Falcons fans hate Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, bro. They they despise those guys.
Well,
They're ready for them to be gone.
and
Uh,
I honestly don't mind Raheem Morris. Like I think he would be a pretty good DC somewhere, but I just don't think that that's. I think that it's hard for defensive coordinators and rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks because I feel like being a head coach, you at this point in the league, you almost need to have that quarterback whisperer type of thing, right? I mean, look at all the top coaches in the league: Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. Like they all know how to make any quarterback good in their system. And like I feel like you have to kind of have that little mentality, unless you just have some generational prospect like Lamar or Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Like, do you agree?
yeah, I mean the last 2 years have been kind of like anomalies in that case because you have had Jaden Daniels with Dan Quinn and then uh, C.J. Stroud with D'Amico Ryans. So
Well,
like first year head coaches that are defensive guys
that is
with a
true.
rookie coming. I know Dan Quinn was a head coach before, but they also, I mean, I don't know. Again, those
Well,
are like really rare cases. They don't happen very often.
and also Jaden Daniels had Cliff Kingsbury, which is
He did. Yeah.
is not normally the situation for a lot of rookie quarterbacks. Like, has the Falcons OC right now ever been a head coach?
No.
No, and like Cliff Kingsbury had experience or success with Kyler Murray. Like, it's not like he's some guy that was a head coach somewhere didn't work out. Like they were actually pretty good for a little bit, and so
Yeah.
and like
Maybe the
Stroud,
case
the
with
CJ
Stroud.
Stroud D'Amico Ryan's one is actually really interesting because that is kind of an anomaly, but yeah, like I said, I think that most of it just needs more time. I couldn't put him anywhere above that.
It's tough. Yeah. I mean, I'm a little more pessimistic about Penix, uh, with his injury history and everything.
Yeah.
I think he's fringe dead cap.
Mm.
And I also now just feel bad looking at Bryce Young sitting right next to Tyler Shuck. Kind of, I feel I feel like that's a little bit disrespectful to Bryce, but we'll see how
I
the
mean,
rest of the rest of the list goes, and maybe he moves up to the bottom of mid tier.
well,
Maybe
and yeah, but I think it's true that he does need more time, and like he's definitely gonna
I
be at the
do think
top.
so. Yeah.
He's gonna be at the top of it. And while we're talking about some of these younger guys, why don't we just move on to Cam Ward? Um,
Mm,
and so we wrapped up the NFC South. Yeah, let's move to Cam Ward, and obviously needs more time, right? I mean, there's not much discussion there. I think he's gonna be actually pretty dang good, but having Brian Callahan and then him getting fired, and just having one of the worst offenses in the league is not gonna help you. Um, but I think that he's
Yeah,
still a pretty good prospect. Definitely. Well, I think you could argue Jack Dart might be the best quarterback in that class based on year one. You could have that argument. I don't think that,
yeah,
but you could have that argument, and I think that just looking at it, I mean, obviously he's going to need more time.
yeah.
And then continuing, we got Daniel Jones. Where do we want to put him?
This is interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I don't necessarily think this is a game changer. I mean, you look at the games against the Falcons and
yeah,
the Steelers, and you say, okay, well, clearly Daniel Jones is not in the MVP conversation like he was, the first 4 weeks or whatever. And I think you got to put him in top 15. I
I do.
I don't think that he's mid. I think that he's experienced. He actually has some decent rushing upside. Like I know it's not like he has crazy like lateral movement like Lamar or something, but like he can use his legs in effective ways. And I think that he's made Tyler Warren, obviously the best like leader probably for rookie of the year right now, offensive rookie of the year. And
Mhm.
Michael Pittman's having a great season. Alec Pierce looks nice. Um, but I don't think I put him above Caleb Williams or Jordan Love.
I agree.
And then moving on, Trevor Lawrence. What are we doing with him? I could put him anywhere from. I wouldn't put him in needs time. I think we've had enough time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I also don't
I'm
think you
debating.
don't put him at dead cap.
See, I'm debating between dead cap and mid. I
Definitely mid. It's definitely mid.
definitely mid. Okay, and that's fine. I think he's definitely near the end of mid though. Like he lower
Yeah.
tier.
We'll see how it fills out, but
Yeah.
I think he will probably end up being on the latter half of it.
I think it's time to move on. We haven't really seen a lot of success from this Jaguars team, for factors not just including him. But how many years has he been in the league now? 4 or 5?
He was drafted in 21.
So he's been in the league 4 years now. This is his 5th year. Like it's just
He had a bit of a rough go, the Urban Meyer
yeah.
experience, and then start hot with Doug Peterson, and then that fizzles out, and then they look really good to start this year, and then the receivers just forget how to catch the ball,
But
uh,
yeah.
and Travis Hunt gets hurt, but then he just still you're not really seeing a ton,
Yeah.
and so it's just I don't know, it's just a
Like
weird scenario.
I mean, look at some of the receivers. Like I don't think that the Jaguars weapons are that much worse than like the Colts wide receivers. Like Brian Thomas and Michael Pittman, I feel like are pretty close together. At least from
I mean,
looking
he
at
had
Brian
like
Thomas's
BTJ
rookie
from
year.
like his rookie year, but
Yeah.
the
He
fall off has been pretty surprising.
Yeah, and that is true. But I don't think they're that much worse. Like they're worse, but I don't know if it's that much worse, and you're not seeing anywhere near the production. And I mean, even look at Jordan Love. I mean, come on. None of those guys are that's on the same level. Caleb Williams probably has better, but Jordan Love, there's even Baker. I mean, you're looking at Baker's working with Gabuka and Sterling Shepard and Tez Johnson and like not really dogs, but like Parker Washington's a dog, like too. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think okay. I'll agree with mid. I'll agree with mid. But very soon could be dead cap, a very big dead cap with that contract. I mean, if the Jaguars end up missing the playoffs, what are they going to do with Trevor Lawrence? You keep him?
I don't think they don't have many options.
I guess that's true.
The deal that he has, I think the most you can do is like maybe bring in some competition for him, but you just had like a pretty high end, what would be like a fringe starter, probably backup Mac Jones on the roster there. And, they let him go.
Yeah.
So I don't even know who you'd bring in really to like seriously kind of try and
And they're not going to have a top 10 pick.
it's it's a really weird scenario. I don't know.
So I guess they would have to give him more time, but
Yeah, I think you
maybe
gotta just keep pressing.
begrudgingly. Then CJ Stroud, top 15, right? I don't think. Do we have to have an argument about that? Like worst offensive
No, I
line in
think
the
for
league.
now I probably because it's off this year, I'd probably put him at the end of top 15 right
Yeah,
now.
I would probably put him at 15. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and move Joe Burrow to dead cap because he just isn't playing, and I don't want him down here. Well, I'll move him off actually. I don't want to get that confused later. And then what division should we do next? What division should we do next?
Let's do the AFC East.
AFC East? Okay, I'm rocking with that. We'll start with Tua. Kind of on a hot streak. Hot streak right now. Obviously the industry history. Obviously the turnovers. But I don't feel like Tua's the worst quarterback on this list. At all. And I don't think that he like I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that he would be successful anywhere in Miami, but I think it's time for Miami to move on.
I definitely agree. There needs to be a change from top to bottom in Miami because there's just some bad mojo all around
Well,
right now.
like even honestly, the locker room videos since they fired the GM have been pretty like they've been having fun. The vibes are up. They've won 3 out of the last 4. And like
but some of dude, Tua's turned into like I don't know. He just look like he hasn't been media trained recently. Like some of these press conferences, bro.
Yeah, he wants to go play in Jerusalem.
Yeah, he's talking about playing in Jerusalem, and I think he's being a little too straightforward and honest with some of the answers. Like asking him like what went wrong out there, and he's like, I couldn't even see him out there. And it's like, okay, well, don't say
But
that.
honestly, I think that's fine. Like I think like might as well. Why is he gonna
It is.
lie? The
It's
media already
funny, like
thinks
because
that
he's
he's a bad
being
quarterback. Like
very realistic.
I mean,
Like
he's
I
very
think it's hilarious, but like you don't want to hear your potential franchise quarterback be like, man, I could not even tell what was going on out there.
realistic.
Like it's just not a good
Yeah.
look.
So
But
obviously the conversation is mid or dead cap, right?
I agree. Yeah,
And I don't know which to put him in because yeah, he's
I don't
either
know.
at the end of mid, right, with Trevor Lawrence, or or is it the top of dead cap?
If there was like if you like took out the needs time tier, like there was like a tier
Well,
below mid but above dead cap that was like just like below average, that's where I would probably put Tua. But here I
okay, well let's move
have to say at the end of
at the end of mid. Yeah, and I agree because
mid.
mid is like the middle of the pack, right? Like it's dead cap is like the bottom, like 10 quarterbacks, and then like excluding like the rookies or young guys, which is in needs time. And I agree that he's
I'd
probably the end of the pack, maybe 18, maybe 19 if
say
you're doing
I'm
rankings.
gonna say like fringe top 20-ish
Hmm.
probably is where I'd put
Yeah, I
like
agree.
fringe 20, I think is a good spot for him right now.
And then Josh Allen. I mean, there's no analysis here, right?
Elite.
Yeah,
Elite.
there's no analysis. Like there's nothing. Even coming off a 6 touchdown performance, had 2 picks. One was not really his fault, I don't think.
One was not his fault. The other was probably the goofiest Josh Allen pick I've ever seen in my life.
And like, you know, obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL if you're just talking about like who you're gonna start a franchise with. But right now at elite level, but not top one. I think we both know who top one is, which we'll get to in a minute. But Drake May,
Yeah, all
Geno Smith at top one. How did you know?
right.
Drake May in the MVP conversation.
This season, I've got you. Go ahead.
He's in the MVP conversation. Um, but I hold off
You
on
know
elite.
where he goes on it. You know where he goes.
Do I know where he goes?
You know where he
Game
goes.
changers.
You know where he goes, Shauna.
Okay, game changers. You want me to put him in elite? All right, I'll put him in elite. I'll put him in elite. He's in the MVP conversation, playing amazing, playing amazing. But
Yeah,
I think he's probably the last guy in that elite tier right now.
I agree. That's exactly where I put him.
Because, like, yes, he's in the MVP conversation. He's super accurate. But I mean, I think he's at 20 interceptions. Or sorry, not 20 interceptions.
20
20,
interceptions.
20
Get him
touchdowns.
out of there.
20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Which is not bad, but not as good as the top one. And I feel like him and Baker are so close. And that's what's making me want to move Baker into elite. Like if I'm seeing Drake May in elite, like I really want to move him up. So
They're close.
we'll see.
If the Bucks just hadn't slid these last few games, the Baker would definitely be in the elite.
Hmm. For sure.
And he's
For
still
sure.
bored. He might be in the elite by the end of the list.
Yeah. And then Justin Fields, meow, dead cap.
Dead cap.
Yeah, it's done. He's seen every shade of grass there ever was, and it was never green. It was like it. It was like and when he got to Pittsburgh, it was like the brown grass that you get in the fall. It's kind of dead, but maybe it comes back. And then now it's just dirt, and it's just dirt in New York. It's bad.
The only grass he's seeing is that trash artificial MetLife turf, man.
The things
It's
that
garbage.
eats ACLs and Achilles.
Exactly. That field has a kill count.
I know. Well, when the Eagles played the Giants there, I saw Quinion left with a hamstring injury. I was praying to God. I was on my knees, bro. I was like, no, we could not. This could not happen.
They almost took Pookie Bear from me, bro. Almost.
All right, where do you want to go next? I feel like it's time to do the NFC East. I feel like I can finally we'll do
Yeah.
we'll start with Jackson Dart. I know the picture is Russ. It's Jackson Dart. Um
Guys, Jackson Dart. That's not Russell Wilson.
It is not Russell Wilson. I think he needs more time. um. So Russ, what are we gonna do? Because or not Russ. Sorry, Jackson Dart. What are we gonna do? See, I already did it. Jackson Dart. What are we gonna do? Because I feel that he's been playing fantastic, and I really like what he's been doing. He's honestly is really great on his legs. Something that I didn't anticipate when coming out of the draft. Like I remember arguing with Ewan about who's the better prospect, Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart. And I was like, I think I would take Jalen Milroe. I like his athleticism. I think that he's just as capable as Jackson Dart. And I thought that Jackson Dart was more of a, you know, I didn't know that he was this dynamic with his legs.
Yeah.
But he really is. Like he has a lot of really good rushing touchdowns, and he's able to escape and really create. And I really like what he's doing. But I don't think you can put him in top 15, right?
No, you
No,
can't. Yeah.
I mean, like from a fantasy perspective, yeah, but not in like a real. And I feel like mid is just the wrong term for it, right?
It is. Yeah. I feel like yeah. Maybe there if I think a perfect one would be like, a different tier that's maybe you shouldn't say it's like above or below mid, but just like encouraging. And
Yeah.
that's where I'd put Jackson Dart. I'd definitely be encouraged if I was a Giants fan
Mm-hmm.
seeing that. The only thing I'd be worried of is the volume of running opportunities he's getting because I'm not sure that that's sustainable in the long term in the
No,
NFL.
especially
Way
with the
that
way
he
that he's
runs,
running.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he runs like his teammate is Cam Scatterby. So, um, yeah, that is you can't keep doing
He
you
runs like
cannot do that.
he runs like the opponent is about to kill Cam Scatterboot. Like he's running into like kill. He's going to kill them. He's going to save his friend. Um.
Yeah, no.
So the question is, where do we put him in needs time? Do we put him in front of Bryce? Do we put him kind of in between some of these other guys? Right now, I have Bryce, Jackson Dart, Rattler / Shuck, Penix, and Ward in that order. I think I would probably move
Uh,
Ward up in front of a few of those guys.
I I have Bryce, Dart, Ward, and then Penix or Shuck and Penix.
Okay, we got the same order then. Yes, yeah. Um, and then next, Dak. I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate this. I gotta move him into game changers. I gotta move him into game changers. He is just surgical sometimes, and it's so annoying. It is so annoying. And like honestly, like when they played the Eagles week 1, there were so many times that they were close to sacking him, and he would just like tiptoe out of it, and you're like, how is he doing this? Like he's not like that, but he is. He is kind of like that.
Yeah, there's not a quarterback that throws a better seam ball than Dak Prescott.
And
Threads the needle.
I would put him above Goff, for sure.
I was about to say, where do you put him? Do you put him first in game changers or right behind Baker?
I still fear Baker more if I'm a DC. I fear Baker a little bit more.
I could see it when their offense gets healthy. I can see that.
And also like I don't know. It's really close between the two. It is very
It
very
really
close.
is. These guys are
But
neck and
like
neck. Right
I
there.
think that Baker is fearless. Like Dak sometimes I think hesitates. Like we haven't seen any playoff success because he gets there and then he does nothing. It's not like he like right?
I mean, the most we've seen was his rookie year, and
Yeah.
that's been it.
And like Baker, I just feel like Baker's a little bit more what was the word I used? I didn't say reckless. That's what I like he is just but he takes more chances. He's fearless. That's what I said. And I think that's I would give him like just like an inch on Dak Prescott. Like an
I
like
look at Baker and
I'd probably give him
he's a
like
gun.
an inch. Oh, for you can't see me, and for those listening, I said an inch, and then I spread my hands out really really wide because that's how big an inch is.
An inch, guys.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, um, yeah, but I feel like you got to put him in game changers. I don't think that he's elite. Not like no diss, but you know what I mean.
Coming from an Eagles fan, I bet.
All right, Jaden Daniels, what are we gonna do? Do we want to rank him?
We can rank him.
Okay. I feel like we go top 15 in front of probably pretty much everyone in there right now. I feel like the injury causes some.
Borderline game changers already, but he'd be at the end of game changers.
Yeah.
So that's just where the conversation is: top of top 15 or end of game changers.
I would go top of top 15 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in elite and game changers. I would go top of top 15 and maybe we can move him up, but I just feel like the injury it's gonna be hard to move him up in these power rankings. Like hasn't really played a lot all year. You know, the commanders haven't really been the best even when he's been playing. But I don't know. Just going off what we've seen from last year too. I mean, like I still think that he's that guy. I don't think anything's changed. I just think that he hasn't been healthy. And then Jalen Hurts. I'm not putting him in the lead, okay? Because I know I'm not going to get there with you, okay?
Rightfully so.
I'm going to put him in game changers, okay?
Okay.
I think that his ability, and we saw it last year in the playoffs, to function pre-snap helps every part of the offense. And I think that this year, it is not his fault that the offense has struggled in some games. I think the only reason that the offense has been good in any games is because of him. Is because he has elite deep ball placement. He is a very good down the field thrower. He is very good at navigating, at creating. So he's gotten a lot better at that. I wouldn't say he's elite, but he's gotten a lot better at creating, and his legs are useful in a different way than a lot of other quarterbacks are. Because you get those short yardage situations, and he's really good. I think that he doesn't get enough credit for the tush push. And I think that part of his success is definitely him. And that's why I would put him at game changers, and I want to put him in front of Dak. I want to put him in front of Dak. I can understand.
Agree, he's above Goff.
Yes.
I would say you can't put him above Baker for this year.
No, I
It's
agree.
just right or left of Dak.
And my argument for Dak is that every game, pretty much every game this year, he has played better than the other quarterback that he's facing. I know that the rest of the season, it may not look like that, and it may just be a defense thing. But every game that he plays, he is better than the opposing quarterback. And I think that sometimes he is let down by the injuries on the offensive line, but mostly the play calling. I mean, there's essentially no run game in Philly, which is the main thing from last year, and they're still winning games at the same rate.
I'll give it to you, getting him left to Dak.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
See, that's just like
because I know there's someone else in elite tier, so he's not top 5.
Yeah, and I can't push it this year for elite. I think during the offseason you could argue that because he came off the Super Bowl, but we're past that now. It's a new year. I think that despite how good he played in the playoffs last year, and even just overall in the season, I think he played pretty well. When there are questions about the passing game, obviously the quarterback is going to be the focus of those conversations, but it's really not him. It is, I mean, if you looked at any of the route charts from any of these games, you just realize how bad Kevin Patullo's play calling is.
Yeah, I had just seen AJ Brown's kind of mapped out routes that he ran.
Yeah.
What was it? Did y'all play? Was it Sunday night? I guess.
Yeah, Sunday night with the Lions.
And dude, yeah, it was strictly like a few slants and go routes. That was the extent of everything that AJ Brown ran, just on each side, even.
And it's just so bad. It's like I don't understand. Like he's so effective in every part of the field, and he never gets to that intermediate. Not Jalen Hurts, but they never get AJ Brown in the intermediate.
Part of it is, I mean, if you put him on those deep crossers and stuff, Jalen Hurts is a bit notorious for not really excelling in that area, like deep in the middle of the field and targeting those kind of routes. So I get trying to, put AJ Brown the routes that he's had the most success at, but it's just limiting the offense. It's just putting a cap on it, and it's more so putting a cap on AJ Brown and what he can do for the offense.
And also, if you're taking away that, if you're just saying, "Oh, we're not going to do it because Jalen Hurts can't throw
Right.
there," you're limiting every other thing.
Why not? Like that's
like tell
test them at least. You can't just be like, dude, our quarterback cannot do that. Like if
and,
it's there, then it's there, and you can, look at the film and be like, hey, I've got to get this next time. Like
and last year he was getting better at
doesn't
that.
make sense.
That has been a knock on him, but he was a lot better at last year. And like even like earlier this year, the knock was like, oh, he doesn't like to turn his back to the defense. And then we come out and run a lot more single back play action where he's turning his back to the defense, and he's been great at it. He's been fantastic. I don't think that that's something that you should hold against him. And I think that he really is a game changer. And it's not talked about enough. Holy crap.
Yeah.
We've been talking for an hour. I think the last 20 minutes have been NFC. NFC East.
We're now down. We got one row.
Yeah, we got one row. So let's get the easy ones off the board. Actually, there's not a lot of easy ones left. But we'll go ahead and get the easy ones off the board with...
I can look at two immediately.
Yeah, Geno.
Okay. Geno.
Dead cap.
Below. We'll just put him in dead cap. Yeah. Whatever.
Can we put Geno in 9? No.
Good tier for him, bro. I don't.
And then who's the other one? Flacco?
Flacco, sure.
Dead cap? And he's at the top of dead cap. I don't even think it's
I'm gonna say yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely.
I don't even think that he's bad. Like I just don't. He's not gonna be he's not gonna be starting next year, and I don't think he should be.
Just there for emergency option if someone's quarterback goes down, and he'll get you to just miss the playoffs. That's what he does.
And then Rodgers. I feel like that's the next biggest question. Is Rodgers.
I think I know pretty well where he goes.
Top of mid.
It's the tier, yeah.
See, look at that. We're on one today where we're matching.
We both just know.
We normally don't agree on this stuff as closely as we are.
There isn't a whole lot that where we've had to really sell each other on. I think for the most part, I mean, I've pretty firmly agree with what I've got. Right?
So,
well,
these are rough because we got Lamar, elite.
This is definitely interesting.
Elite, end of elite. I think that
for this season, I'm gonna say he's an end of elite. The injuries, spotty play a little bit. That Cleveland game last Sunday was a little rough. Even though both the picks weren't really his fault, like a batted pass and one that went straight through the running back's hands, but still not been better than the two above him in elite.
And then we got 3 more that we can put in elite and game changers in top 1. So you want to go ahead and do that now? And I think we can narrow it down between 3 guys, right?
You said there's 3 guys for elite game changers and top 15?
Yeah. I feel like, yeah. And it's pretty easy to tell who these.
I mean, you said we're putting Joe Burrow like dead cap for this?
Yeah, for this exercise, we'll just do that because he has not played at all. And,
I'll put him above Joe Flacco and dead cap. Then I know what you're talking about.
So Patrick Mahomes, where are we putting him? Obviously down here from Patrick Mahomes. Just had a pretty rough game against the Broncos.
It was rough.
Where are we putting him?
You can't say he's just top 15. You can't put him below game changers. Even though he hasn't been an MVP candidate this year, you got to put him in game changers. But he still hasn't been very good. The Patrick Mahomes standard at least.
Let's narrow this down. Top 1 is Stafford, obviously, right?
Just go ahead and put him there.
Because this way we can free it up. Because the guys we're arguing about are Herbert and Mahomes. And we essentially have one spot in each elite and game changers for one of them. And I think it's pretty obvious to put Patrick Mahomes in elite at the end of elite. So we'll put him there now because I think, and then we'll put Justin Herbert in game changers, and we'll talk about that in a second. But do we think that with the season Baker's having, do we move him into elite with Mahomes? Because I feel like it's really hard to put Mahomes in elite. I feel like if we put
Baker should be above Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if it's just this year, then Baker would be above Lamar as well because of the injury.
Okay.
So if we really want to, we can put Baker behind May. But
Yep.
then I feel like you almost move someone back to game changers, which would be either Mahomes or Lamar.
I just don't think you can do it. I
Exactly. It just feels wrong to
it
put one of them
feels
not.
so wrong.
So I'm going to move Baker up above Lamar behind May
Yep.
and Elite.
And then Mahomes at the end of elite.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I kind of agree. And like the thing is, Hurts and Dak are both so close to elite for me. Like, because I mean, we were just talking about how close Dak and Baker are, and I think elite is just this upper echelon. And
Yeah.
honestly, it doesn't feel right to have more people in elite than game changers. And I think we're gonna have to move Mahomes down to game changers. I think we're
I
gonna
mean,
have to.
it's season, so I agree. But
I think we're gonna have to.
do you want to put them top game changers
Mm-hmm.
because it feels wrong
It just
to
we
not have Patrick Mahomes at the top of a category?
yeah. I mean, because he's. I mean,
Uh,
yeah. And that's just how it's gonna have to be.
yeah, there's a couple other interesting guys here.
So yeah, we got essentially the NFC West, and then Bo Nix.
Yeah.
And so we have all of
So
our top 15 spots taken. So we're gonna have to do some moving around if we want to put Bo Nix anywhere else in Sam Darnold. We can talk about Sam Darnold. I think we got to put him at the top of mid. Are there any objections to that? Because I mean, coming off a 4 interception performance against the Rams, and I know he's had a great season.
I think that's a really good spot for him.
I and like, but the thing is like Stroud's not having a good season, and we're putting Stroud in top 15. So maybe
This season, I'm telling you, I think if it's just this season, then I'd put Stroud below Sam Darnold.
okay. So let's swap those. So Sam Darnold's going to be the 15. We'll move Stroud at the top of mid.
And then you get to Bo Nix, who I think is going to take over a spot in the top 15, and it's just a matter of where.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I would argue mid. I'm not gonna lie. He has been
Interesting.
so inconsistent,
He has been.
and
I know.
I think you could have the same argument with Caleb Williams, right? And honestly, I'd move Caleb Williams to the back of the top 15.
I
Even
can see that. Like,
even though I
to
want to
me,
put
I
him in
mean,
game changers.
I'm not some like Bo Nix enjoyer or anything, and
And honestly,
thinking that he's amazing. But I think he has been. You can credit him from some of their really good start to the season, and
well,
I think that he belongs somewhere. Maybe not. I wouldn't put him above like Jaden Daniels or Jordan Love, but I think the question is maybe around Daniel Jones there. Uh,
so are we? I can't demote Caleb Williams, man.
no, well, yeah. I mean, you don't. Caleb Williams will still be top 15 for this.
Well, we can't put anyone else in top 15 because that's top 15. Like those are the top.
Did you already did you already move Stroud down the mid?
Yeah, I did.
Who do you top 15?
Jaden, Love, Jones, Darnold, Williams.
You
And
said Darnold was top mid. That's where I put him.
okay, top of mid. Okay. Uh yeah, we can do that.
It's weird because he's been playing so well for the rest of the season, and then he just does that.
He does that and it's just it the alarm bells go off, right?
It just kind of shows you kind of get slapped back to reality of I have Sam Darnold as my quarterback. This isn't some guy that's even though you look like a buzzsaw for most of the regular season, he's not going to really do that realistically in the playoffs. You can't expect him to take you to the NFC Championship game, even though you have one of the best records in the NFC. It's just a big question mark still.
And
He just
also
hasn't
and
shown that in the
this
playoffs
is what happened
or the
last year.
big regular season.
This is what happened last year. I mean,
Exactly.
he probably played himself out of $20 million.
13-win team
Yeah.
having to go play on the road, and they get curb stomped by the Rams. I mean, just really bad look.
So yeah, that's fine with me. And then where are we putting Knicks? Top 15?
I put him in the top 15.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I think that him and Darnold could be changed for me. but I'm okay leaving
You want
it
me at
there.
the very bottom of top 15?
Yeah, the very bottom. Because Jones is playing better. I think Caleb is playing better. Like, Caleb and Bo are interesting because second year had a lot of fourth quarter comebacks, inconsistent, but able to make plays to really win the game. But I think Caleb is. I'm going to trust Caleb back there more than I would Bo Nix.
I
Is
could
that a
see that.
crazy statement?
I can. I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
really trust either of them, but
I don't necessarily trust either of them, but I would want them over Darnold, Stroud, Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua right now.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay. Then we got Brissett, and I know that's not Jacoby Brissett. I know it's Kyler Murray, but we're substituting him.
It is Jacoby Brissett and Brock Purdy.
Yeah, oh yeah, and Brock Purdy. Are we doing Mac Jones or Brock Purdy?
Let's just combine them into one person.
True. And I'm really sad because I really liked the Brock Purdy extension, and then with him being injured and then kind of struggling when he came back, you know it was rough to see. And now Mac Jones playing pretty well with the team. I think that you could put him in front of everyone but Darnold in mid, right?
I could see that.
I think they're benefited by the offense, but there's also been a lot of injuries just to the team as a whole, and you know, but I still think that they're pretty solid and able to do a lot of things. Like Jones is pretty good, he's pretty solid,
He is. He's very serviceable, and
and
I think you saw that in a good system. He can do some harm to you.
and I think Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is kind of pushing the upside because if it's just Mac Jones, he's obviously down further. But with the combination of Brock Purdy, I think you can put him up second and mid.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a huge jump when you go from Mac Jones to Brock Purdy. It's almost just like a different variant of Mac Jones, kind of just
And so,
a better version.
yeah. And then moving on to the last guy, Jacoby Brissett / Kyler Murray. What do I feel like I would want to split them because
I
Jacoby
do too.
Brissett
Yeah,
is honestly like he's
he's
balling.
playing.
He's balling.
He is.
And I'd put him in mid. I wouldn't put him in dead cap. Like I feel like he could probably be pretty serviceable for a team next year. Y-
Yeah,
like kind of take a Joe Flacco role. I don't think that he's necessarily dead cap. Like I think Joe Flacco, should probably be his last year.
yeah.
But
Where did you put Kyler Murray then?
that's the bigger question because needs time. Like no, not really. And like I just
He's old now. He's like, isn't this like year 8 for him or something, bro?
yeah,
He's been or year 7. Like I think it's year
it's been a
7.
while,
This has
and
been around, bro.
it's probably time to move on.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Is
so,
like,
do you
do
put
you
him in
really
dead
put Kyler
cap?
Murray in dead cap? That
Because
just seems kind of
dead
crazy to
dead
say.
cap to me,
Just from a Cardinals perspective, you might.
yeah. Well, dead cap to me doesn't mean like you should just cut him. I feel like he could be a trade candidate or something, and
And that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
You got to just. I mean, for Joe Burrow's case, it's obviously different, but it's like you really got to heavily consider moving on from Kyler this season.
and
They already, I mean,
I think
he's like
I mean
already soft benching with Jacoby Brissett,
yeah,
having him start a game or two, and then putting Kyler on IR after that. They were kind of like testing it out.
yeah.
So I don't know.
I like this to be honest.
I,
I put him in
you
dead
think,
cap behind Burrow, and I think that's
I,
fine.
I, I do like that.
I do. I feel like this is a pretty good, consistent list. Stafford
Where?
being top one,
Yeah,
Josh Allen, Drake May, Baker, and Lamar. Feels really weird putting two guys over Lamar like that.
it does feel.
But with
Yeah, the
how
injury
the
and
games have been playing in the injury,
yeah,
and then game changers beating Mahomes. Oh my, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, and Justin Herbert. Are we putting Justin Herbert above Jared Goff?
I put them at the end of game changers. You know, they've looked pretty bad as of late. So I put Justin Herbert bottom of game in order: Mahomes, Hurts, Dak, Goff, Herbert.
Okay. My SD card just went out, but I don't care. We're wrapping up right now. And then we got Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Daniel Jones, Bo Nix at taking over the top 15. And then Darnold, Jones / Purdy, Stroud, Rogers, Lawrence, Tua, rounding out mid, our biggest category. And then needs time. Looking at some of the younger guys, Bryce Young, Russell Wilson,
Russell Wilson.
Jackson Dart.
Please, guys, trust the process.
Trust the process. Russell will be good in a few years. Russell Wilson. No. Oh my gosh. Bryce Young, Jackson Dart, Cam Ward, Spencer Rattler / Shuck, Penix, and then dead cap. Burrow's kind of just taken off the list because the injury. And then we got dead cap with Murray, Flacco, Fields, and Geno. And then 9 has his own category. Alter
They
ego.
call me nothing.
That's got to be one of the worst nicknames or alter egos ever. Right.
Just keep that to yourself, bro. Nobody needs to hear that except you. Just use that as internal motivation or, little fairyland or whatever. You don't need to tell that to everyone, bro. It's such a bad look.
Oh, my. But, yeah, well, thank you for being on. Like I said, my card went just black just a second ago, so I ran out of recording footage, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. But, yeah, I feel that was a pretty good exercise. I like doing that, and I'm excited for this week. A lot of good games, I feel like, and playoffs are coming around. Getting excited.
Yeah.
Getting that what is that? Getting a little jittery. Getting the butterflies in my stomach.
Hey, man, I'm not used to Panthers playing meaningful football during Thanksgiving, bro. Jeez. Even we're not gonna make the playoffs, but like still, ooh.
Well, oh yeah, we probably won't be recording next week, right? Unless we record it on Monday night.
Yeah.
Who plays on
Monday night's got something pretty important, Sean.
What's Monday night? Panthers?
Panthers at Panthers at
49ers.
Stanford.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're not doing that, huh? Well, that's fine. We can come back after Thanksgiving. Hopefully I do come back from Thanksgiving. Obviously taking the trip with the girlfriend. She's a Bears fan. Her whole family's a Bears fan. Eagles play the Bears on Black Friday. Might not survive. Might not, might get eaten alive. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. It's either the Eagles lose and I'm accepted, or the Eagles win and I'm like cold on the street, hungry.
I think the Eagles are gonna win.
So. I think so as well, but we'll see.
We'll have to sneak in some leftovers before the
Bears.
game.
The Bears Eagles alliance finally over. If only it could end in a tie. That's the funniest meme. I love it.
It lasted.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Thank you all for listening, watching, and let us know your quarterback power rankings in the comments. Make sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and obviously YouTube at The Couch Sports. And follow me on Ball as well. It's a pretty fun app where you get to do your takes. Follow me on there. I post stuff on there every day, pretty much. So, and then I'd love to see your takes on there. But thank you for watching, and see you guys next week. This podcast is produced by Student Media. Student Media is a student organization at the University of Evansville. Student Media produces the Crescent magazine, published online and in print 3 times a semester. Student Media produces several podcasts and utilizes design, photography, video, and sound for its experimental and academic learning in journalistic endeavors and engaging storytelling. Student Media elevates the voice of the student body and connects the campus and community to important information and points of view.